Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are dealing with the very same topic. We're rounding off today the topic that speaks about things that you can control and those that you cannot control in life. Things that you can control and those that you cannot control in life. And I want to make you aware as a young man that you can control your feelings. You can control your feelings. Because sometimes we feel in a certain manner and we claim not to be in control of our feelings. You can decide on how you want to use your feelings, how you want to express them, and where you want to express them in a certain manner. Your feelings can be controlled. And there are many people that will say, no, I can't control my feelings. You can't control your feelings. And young men particularly, and I want to say to you, because feelings seems to be the most detrimental thing in the lives of young men. We have had young men indulging in drugs and alcohol because of feelings. We have seen young men that indulge in having children at a young age because of feelings. We have had young men that live certain type of life because of feelings. Now, feelings therefore become predominant in the life of a young man. But I want to announce today that you've got control of your feelings. Now, there are a lot of feelings in your body, of course. Feelings of cold, of heat, feelings of sexual attractions, and feelings of emotional instability. And then all those feelings in you, they can be controlled. And we are speaking this because it's very important for us to understand that the way we feel, we can actually manage that because we can control that. There are times when people do things to us. There's times when challenges happen to us. There are times when we face situations that are very much overwhelming to our lives. But I want to emphasize that it is still within your confines and control for you to be able to control your feelings. Now, I want to emphasize also that there are times when you've lost a loved one. For instance, when there's death, the feeling of grief, for instance. You can control that. You can control that to a certain extent as well. You can decide whether you're grieving, you go into grief and not come out of that grief. You can actually decide that I'm going to grieve just for a moment. You can decide I'm not going to grieve. You can decide that as well. So it's actually a control of feelings that you can actually manage them to a certain level as well. Because sometimes when you're overcome by feelings, you tend not to become sensible. You tend to do things that are stupid sometimes, and you regret after doing them, and it's because you've been dragged by your feelings to do them. And there's feelings of anger, for instance. There are people that are controlled by a feeling of anger, a feeling of rage, for instance. And some people are in prison, and some young men are listening to us, and you are in prison right now. It's because you could not control your feelings. And I'm warning you that from now on, I hope that you've learned out of that, and you will now live a life that is full of control of your feelings. When you get angry, you can tell yourself, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to do a stupid thing because I'm angry. As much as you get angry, that is why even the Bible says you can get angry, but don't allow the sun to set. And why the Bible speaks about the sun to set is particularly to say, let your anger not turn into rage. Not your anger not turn into evil plans. Not your anger not turn into some stupid behaviors that you'll regret after that. Don't let your anger not drive you into something that will cause you to be arrested. And all these things is because you can control your anger. You can control your rage. You can control that. You can tell yourself, I'm not going to be angry to that level. And that is why there are times when you can decide of saying, okay, how I control my feelings is sometimes I walk out of situations. I walk away from situations. If the feeling is for you to be angry because of a certain environment that makes you to be angry, The control thereof could be that you need to walk away from that environment because that environment irritates you. It actually aggravates your anger. It actually brings and about actually the provocation of anger, and it brings that feeling that you feel angry. There are those people that when they are in certain environments as well, they feel this sense of grief, and whereby it's because you've lost a loved one in the past, but now you are at a level whereby if you are in this certain environment, you grieve throughout. You cannot control your grief. And I'm saying this because you can be able to control that feeling by walking away from that environment and not allowing yourself to be exposed to that environment anymore. To tell yourself, I'm not going to such environments that are provoking my feelings. And I want to emphasize this, because some of the feelings are feelings of appetite, maybe for alcohol, appetite for drugs, for instance. And it's very important as a young man to know that you can control that sometimes by avoiding. As I said, you can walk away from situations. You can actually avoid such situations and not go to them, and not find yourself in an environment like that because it causes certain feelings in your life. Now, that control is within you, and you can control that. And so, therefore, it is very important as a young man to know that you can control your feelings, because if you don't know, your feelings will actually run you amok. They will make you to do things that you never planned to do. They will make you to do things that are stupid and you regret thereafter. And you will forever be apologizing because of your feelings have let you down by doing things that you're not controlling them. Now, it is very important for you to know that you can control your feelings, please, sir. But what else? You cannot control the feelings of other people. And that's very important for us to mention that as well. Because many other people, we're trying to cancel them out of feelings. We're trying to make them feel otherwise. We try to make them feel the way we feel. Or we're trying to channel their feelings in a different manner. And I want to emphasize the fact that you can cancel people, but you cannot reach a stage where you will actually change the feeling of somebody. If somebody is grieving, don't stop them to grieve, because that's how they feel. And you cannot control that. You may try to cancel them out of it. You may try to speak them out of that type of a feeling. But if they feel that way, they feel that way. And that is why it becomes very, very difficult sometimes to convince people out of suicidal tendencies, because that's the feeling. And you cannot control it from outside. And the owner can control it from their inside. So it is actually within their control, not your control. And sometimes there are many people that have actually blamed themselves of other people who have killed themselves and feel like you are involved, feel like you've let them down, feel like you've done something that there was something that you could have done. And I want to urge you, if you are living in condemnation today, some of you are living in condemnation because somebody has died because of their feelings, and you thought you should have controlled that. There are people that killed themselves because of relationships, and they felt depressed, they felt hated, they felt they are nobodies, and that feeling, you could not control that. And there are people that have lost their spouses through suicide because of feelings. And you feel responsible, and you're forever living a life of regret because you feel like you could have done something. There are some of you who are parents as young men who your own children have actually behaved in a certain manner. They've actually deviated from the line of behavior that you would have actually expected them to live, the type of lifestyle that you would have expected them to live, but they've deviated from that path. And it's because of the feelings that they had. Now, remember that you could not have controlled anything, because you cannot control the feelings of your own children. You cannot control that. And I must really say that don't involve yourself much into that. And sometimes we judge people based on their feelings as if we will control those feelings. And I want to emphasize that it is not possible for you to control the feelings of other people. You can only control your own feelings, but please, I warn you, don't try to control other people's feelings, because you will not be able to control other people's feelings as well. And if people feel in a certain way, don't feel bad, because that is not you who feels that way. But please make sure that you support people in what they're going through. Don't judge them because their feelings is their feelings and your feelings are your feelings, and you can only control your feelings as a young man. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and be part of this great topic. I hope that you've learned a bit out of this. I hope that you will join us as we deal with other topics going forward. For now, I would love you just to like our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum. So please like those. Click notification buttons as well so that you may be notified when we've posted information of this kind. Remember also to like our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. Make sure that you Google Micornus Phokane in YouTube and you'll find our videos there. And they are very important for you, and you will learn quite a lot out of that. And as a young man, your life shall never be the same again. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.